There's a UN climate change conference happening as we speak, and the intention is to make some progress toward limiting the emissions of carbon dioxide, in particular greenhouse gases, more generally, which include some other things besides CO2, to get the nations of the world to agree on how to limit emissions.
My name is Jennifer Ching, and I'm currently a dual degree student studying at Columbia School of International and Public Affairs and Sciences Po in Paris. I study environmental policy, and I'm involved in this panel because when I did my first year in Paris, I was involved in the Make It Work project, and I was a president of the Make It Work simulation. The Make It Work initiative it was an initiative launched by various stakeholders within France, because France is currently hosting the COP21. And it's basically just an initiative to kind of engage civil society, to engage the youth especially, and to kind of start this conversation in preparation for the COP21 that is already now going on.
So after the screening, so I say a word, Nora says a word about the film, then we watch the film, and afterwards we have a panel and a discussion.
So the director of the film is called David Bornstein. He's a director, and then he worked together with the producer. The producer of the film she's called Nora Philippe, and they made the film together. It's basically about the simulation. It's basically follows the course of the conference over the week or the 4 days, and kind of tries to bring out the story of basically climate negotiations, but also mixing climate negotiations with student engagement and civil society participation.
All of our processes of life, the way we grow food, transportation, our living conditions, all depend on the Earth's climate. The climate sets the context for the weather, and changes in climate result in changes in weather extremes. That can cause problems with growth of food, with migration, with political situations. It's the context in which all of our human activities take place. The strongest way we can influence that change, in addition to changing our own behavior, is through political mechanisms. And that only works if people are educated to understand what the science is behind these decisions. It can't look like the urgency is derived for political gain. It has to be clear that we're doing this because of knowledge and because of good science, and that demands us take action.
It sounds like a simple realization, but trying to get all these different countries to cap their carbon emissions when a lot of them are still industrializing, or when it's going to be unpopular at home, is really, really difficult. And so I think I would kind of go up there and with a little bit more empathy say it's important to be ready to make legitimate sacrifices for the good of all of the people on this planet, but that it takes a lot of work and you're going to be pulling a lot of all-nighters, and that's kind of understandable.
I think the idea is that we're all in this kind of together, and even though when we talk about emissions and mitigation and climate change, it seems so kind of far away or abstract, but what we really wanted to show is that these are things that affect our everyday life, from industries to our ecosystem to the environment that we live in to cities, and so it's something that everyone should take very seriously.